Brandon, I'm a casual UFC fan, and last night, I'll be honest, it disappointed me in some ways, but boy, was it exciting. Let's start off with this UFC 285 recap, everything that the people need to know.
So yeah, it was overall it was a great night in my opinion. I had a lot of fun. It was very highly entertained throughout the entire night. I'll just give a couple of mentions the prelims before I get to the pay per view and main card. Shout out Ian Gary, Irish guy, undefeated, now 12-0. He really started his MMA career by seeing Conor McGregor take his rise. He got the TKO in the final 30 or 40 seconds of the third round. He got dropped in the first round, rebounded well, and was able to get the finish late in the round with a beautiful combos. So shout out Ian Gary. Shout out Amanda Hebas. She had a great performance. She was able to beat Viviane Arujo, I should say, by decision, unanimous. Now she's going to be officially ranked in the flyweight division. She's had a couple of tough fights against some ranked opponents in the flyweight division that and lost them, so she couldn't get ranked. But now she's officially going to be ranked in there, so that's good. She's another contender for this flyweight division that has kind of opened up because of what happened in the co-main event. But I will get to that. Dricus Duplessis, South African guy, broke into the top, I think now maybe 6 or 5 in the middleweight division by beating Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson's team threw in the towel for him. It was just getting bad. Brunson he's getting old, or he is old. He gasses out really quickly, and these young guys like Duplessis, they're just hungry lions, and they feed on that when they smell blood in the water. So big win by Duplessis, but I think he's got a lot of work to do to compete with those top 5 guys in the 185-pound division. Then the main event of the prelims, my guy Cody Garbrandt coming back after a year layoff. Didn't have a very exciting fight. Used a little bit more of his wrestling. Was able to get the takedowns, beautiful takedowns. He was able to set them up nice. Landed them perfectly. Wasn't able to hold Trevin down that much, but was able to get the takedowns. Evaded a lot. Did some dance moves here and there to pump up the crowd, but it was overall not a very exciting fight. Cody has just been a different fighter after being finished in 4 of his last, I think, 6 fights. After an insane rise, undefeated, beating Dominic Cruz for the Bantamweight Championship in arguably the greatest performance in a championship fight of all time, Cody Garbrandt. He's had a downhill ever since the TJ fights. So it was good to see him get a win and be back, but he just doesn't look comfortable on the feet anymore because of just the damage he's taken. But kicking off the main card, the pay-per-view, the guy I hyped up very highly, one Mr. Bo Nickel, elite wrestler out of Penn State, 4-0 now. I was telling everybody that I was watching the fight with when this fight was about to go on, when they were doing the walkouts, that I said Bo Nickel within 2 minutes. It was 2:54. I was close, but listen, was it a highly impressive fight? Not necessarily, right? Like it didn't display Bo Nickel's skills as much as I wanted it to, or as much as it did in the Dana White Contender Series. But he's taking a big step up in competition. He's fighting the guy he's fighting, Jamie Pickett. It doesn't have a great record, but he's got 21 fights. He's got experience. He's fought before. Bo Nickel is his debut in the UFC, kicking off the pay-per-view of a John Jones fight. I will say, listen, I don't know if you guys caught that fight. Bo did. He definitely need Jamie Pickett in the nuts. It was pretty clear. The ref didn't see it. Led to the takedown. Yeah, led to the takedown, and then was able to get the arm triangle, which is what the finish, which was crazy, was he didn't even have it locked in the right way. He was trying to get his left leg out, and then he could have really cinched it in, but he was able to get the finish in that way. So that just shows you the squeeze on that kid. This kid, I'm telling, the way Dana talked about him in the post-fight press conference, they're talking. I told you, sky's the limit. He got a first-round finish. He might get a top 15 guy next. This guy could be fighting for the title earliest, mid 2024, latest 2024. end of 2024, I should say. So just be on the lookout for one Bo Nickel. The next fight, Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. This was one where I don't want to be super disrespectful, but I was just in and out talking with people around while this fight was going on, so I'd have to rewatch it again. Gamrot was able to get the decision win, the split decision win. Taking a short notice fight, tough fight against Jalen Turner. I saw that the things I did see were pretty good. There was back and forth action. There was big shots being landed, takedowns, submissions being thrown up. So it looked like a good fight. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it, but Gamrot got the fight. High risk fight for a guy, short notice, and being the higher ranked fighter. But next up, we got Shavkat Rakhmonov, the undefeated fighter, who has now continued his streak, 17 wins, undefeated, and all 17 of his wins are via finish. He's finished every single one of his opponents. And this fight was fight of the night. Jeff Neal missed weight by 4 pounds. He came in at 175. So, and Dana said, listen, Dana gave this guy his performance bonus money, which he never does. If you miss weight, you don't get performance money. But he just said this fight was just so good, so great. The heart that both guys showed. I mean, Rakhmonov with those knees to the stomach just over and over again. The vicious, the elbows, the big shots. Shavkat getting rocked by Jeff Neal over and over, showing heart and being able to overcome adversity. It was just, I mean, it was a great fight. The body shots really paid off late into the late in the third round, and then Shavkat able to get that finish, the submission. Almost kind of like a one-armed standing rear naked choke. It was a highly impressive finish with like I think 40 seconds left in the fight. What a fight! Definitely fight of the night. Insane. I loved that fight. I don't know where it's going to rank in fight of the year. We'll see where we are later this year, but that was one hell of a fight. So next up, we got the first of 2 title fights. We got the queen, or the former queen, I guess I should say now, Valentina Shevchenko, who had, I believe, 8 title defenses, I think, for her flyweight title, maybe 7, 6, somewhere in that range. To me, she's the second greatest female fighter of all time behind Amanda Nunes. And she actually might be talent-wise, technique-wise, the most talented fighter I've ever seen, because she's just, the way she fights is robotic at times. This fight, I didn't see it going the way that it went. I thought Valentina was going to be able to take her down with more ease and be able to dominate the top position with more ease. She almost did in the second round. She got the crucifix position for like a couple seconds, but Alexa was able to fight out of it, show great grit and determination, getting up and going into the third. I thought it was 1-1. I thought Grasso won the first. She was able to land a great 1-2 on Valentina. When she rocked Valentina, the whole room that I was watching it was like, holy crap! She just rocked Valentina, because I haven't personally seen that. Or I haven't seen it in a long time. Valentina just doesn't get cracked like that. Alexa, I did say this: if this was on the feet, it would have a chance to be a really exciting fight. And I said Grasso is alive. She has a live chance on the feet because of her boxing style. She got that Mexican boxing style taken over after the greats of Canelo Alvarez and the other great boxers, but she showed great timing, power, the improvements on the ground, being able to get up, and then going into the fourth round, I thought going into the fourth, I thought Valentina was up 2-1. I thought she had round 2 and 3. Alexa won round 1, and then the fourth round came. I thought Grasso was winning that round. It was close, but I thought Grasso had more of a majority of that round. She was winning. And then at the end of it, she talked about in her post-fight press conference where she said they were working on, Valentina likes to do a lot of spinning attacks, and they timed it. They timed it well, and she timed it perfectly. When she did her spinning attack, think she threw a spinning back kick. She was able to get to the back like a freaking spider monkey. She was able to wrap those legs around her waist, backpacker, work towards the choke. And I think if you guys saw the replays, you can see just how tightly she's inching a little bit closer, just tightly squeezing that in. And then you see even Valentina, she doesn't want to tap because I don't think she was going unconscious or anything. Maybe she was. It wasn't under the neck, but it was when you see her release, you can see a huge white mark on Valentina's face of how tight she was squeezing. Valentina didn't want to tap, but you can see when she gets up, she just puts her hands in her face like, damn, I got, the queen had been dethroned. The queen had been dethroned. And we've seen a lot of upsets lately. Pena over Nunes a couple years ago. Leon Edwards over Usman, which we're going to see the trilogy fight in a couple of weeks in London. We've not really an upset, but Pereira over Adesanya. We've seen a lot of these upsets lately. And Valentina was the next victim. So shout out Alexa Grasso. I've been a big fan of her for years. She started out at strawweight. She's now moved up to flyweight. She's still undefeated at flyweight, 5-0. Now with a win over the greatest flyweight fighter in women's MMA history, and Valentina Shevchenko, one of the greatest female fighters of all time. Insane win. Now we move on to a rematch. Valentina will get a rematch because when you're that dominant for so long, you deserve and you have earned your rematch. I just hope the rematch is in Mexico City, Mexico, because now we've got 3 Mexican-born champions in the UFC. We got Alexa Grasso, the first ever female-born UFC champion. Yair Rodriguez, who won the interim UFC featherweight championship, and Brandon Moreno, who is a 2-time flyweight champion. So we got 3 Mexican-born champions, and then Irene Aldana is in talks to possibly fight Amanda Nunes for the bantamweight championship. So we could have 4 Mexican-born champions at once. I hope the next fight for this is in Mexico. Have all those fights on that card. Have a big blow-off date. That would be epic. Mexico would go absolutely insane. Viva la Mexico. What a night, though, for that. But now we move on